What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the KREF High School Huddle here on our KREFsports.tv YouTube page. As always, remember to like and follow all of our social medias on IG, Twitter, and on Facebook, where we post highlights, updates, and scores from all of our teams. And that's going to be especially true this weekend. By the way, hope you enjoyed our audio-only coverage of the first round of the state tournament. That was on Tuesday. That guy, along with Andrew, did a fantastic job doing that on Tuesday, and we'll have more of that coverage on Friday and Saturday. That is Connor Pasby. I'm Grayson Singleton. Glad you guys are spending a couple moments of your day here with us. Let's start, as we always do, with the best thing I saw this week. And the best thing we saw today was Edmond Santa Fe's Maddie Batiste. And as the soccer season gets underway, she had a hat trick. Karsten Melton, take it away.
So they will have a break until spring break, and here's Batiste looking for the hat trick. Left-footed shot, and there it is! The hat trick!
Really cool stuff there of hat trick plus an assist as well on one of the other goals for Maddie Batiste as Edmond Santa Fe got that win over Moore. So a really good start today. Let's go to our main topics of the day, and that is going to be the state tournament out there at the fairgrounds. By the way, Connor, as somebody who has grown up in Oklahoma, what is so cool about, obviously this is the last year of the fairgrounds, what's so cool about having everybody there this year?
Well, it's just awesome because, you have the state tournament there every single year, and especially when the 6A now gets involved and they get to be a part of it for the final year at the Big House. It's just so special to see so many familiar faces, friends and family all surrounded in the fairgrounds to watch some basketball. So it's always just such a great event to attend, and of course, if you're able to work it, it's even better. So it's always a great place to be, Grace, in the Big House.
Yeah, I've worked state wrestling there before. It's an awesome atmosphere when you get all those people from all the different schools and you see the colors and stuff like that all there. So again, everybody's at the fairgrounds for the last year that the state tournament will be held at Jim Nork Arena or at the Big House. So very cool. Let's start it off with Keeley Parks. Norman trading blows with Union the whole way there. And this guy, he got a chance to do some play-by-play. And here's how Keeley Park's game winner sounded on KREFsports.tv.
It's half court. Here's a three-point attempt by Keeley Parks. It's up and good! Browning found Parks for three! As Union cannot get a shot up. A three-pointer by Keeley Parks. Off the fine by Browning.
Norman wins that game over Union. Gave us a little bit of a heart attack on the ensuing possession, too. Nearly committed a foul there, but Norman's moving on to the semifinal. Talk about that game. You did it for us. What stood out?
Well, it was Union that jumped out to a big lead. I believe they were leading 19-6 late in that first quarter. Keeley Parks, her dad, the head coach, Frankie Parks, told us that she was going to be doubtful, so we weren't expecting her to play, but she got in the ball game late in that first quarter, and they just kept climbing back. They made it interesting at halftime in a huge third quarter for the Tigers. Keeley Parks only finished with 9. Of course, that game-winning three-pointer that she had, but it was really Halen Browning with 18 that really did most of the damage for them offensively. She was a great player to watch. She led the way for them. She also had the assist to Keeley Parks to find her in the corner for that game winner. So it was impressive to see Norman just keep scrapping away, because you know how they play defensively. They can get down big in a game, but if they start forcing some turnovers, they can get back in the game pretty quick, and that's exactly what they did. So some great plays from Halen Browning, Keeley Parks. They had a great surrounding cast around them, too, that played well. Marcella Attar, she's a freshman that just continues to get better when she sees more minutes on the floor, and she's going to be a player to watch for them moving forward in her high school career. So that's an impressive win for a Norman team that they're used to making deep runs in the postseason. They have that postseason experience, and they really showed it against Union.
How about Norman also? 13 for 16 from the foul line, too. And, free throws really come in clutch at this time of the year if you can get to the foul line and convert from there. So Norman's moving on. Broken Arrow is also moving on as the Tigers blow out Edmond Memorial in the other in another quarterfinal, Avery Jelmstead with 25, Janiah Williams with 19, with impressive endings to their high school career. So good luck to them going to Utah, going to Oregon next year. How about Broken Arrow? And Mackenzie Mathurin led the way with 27 points. Rakaya Bowen, Macy Maricini with 16 lead the way for BA, and a team that we've talked about a couple of times that is just a very hard team to beat. And we know the Michigan commit Mathurin, she gets a lot of the headlines, but she's got a real cast of characters around her as well.
Yeah, she does. Mathurin put up 27, but you're right, Grayson. She's got some help around her, and that is a team that's got so much great chemistry on the offensive end. Expected that game to be a little bit closer with Eben Memorial, but that was quite the statement for the Lady Tigers, who continue to be one of the top teams at the 6A level, and no surprise, they're able to get to the semifinals when you got one of the best players in 6A in Mackenzie Mathurin, who continues to put up crazy numbers for her team.
Yeah, no doubt. And then our final game that we're going to talk about from the girls' quarterfinals is Bixby and Mustang. Now, Mustang, not a team that we saw a whole lot of, a team we were aware that was pretty good, but a Bixby team that we were high on, and Bixby, the Spartans, end up falling to Mustang in the state quarterfinal. You were there for that game. What impressed you the most about how Mustang played that game?
Just how athletic Mustang is, and it's not just one player for the Lady Broncos. They had plenty of players that stepped up in a big way. They had 3 players that scored in double figures. Leading the way for them was Maya Austin. She's a forward that can also step out and shoot the ball, so she was a player that really stepped up in a big way for them. What killed Bixby is we know they rely from the three-point line, and when they're hitting threes, they can be a really dangerous team, but when they're not falling, they can get behind in the ball game, and they were 5 for 16 from the three-point line, so that did not help the Bixby Spartans at all. But still an impressive season that Riley Littlejohn and the Bixby Lady Spartans have. We got to cover a lot of their games at Bixby, the Bixby tournament, of course, and some other games on the road for the Lady Spartans. So shout out to them. Kate Wernley, who just committed to
last night.
Lindenwood. Yeah, yes. She has been a fantastic player. Her and Music. Music is a senior, and it was really emotional to see her kind of leave the floor for the last time because she has really built this thing for the Lady Spartans from start to finish. So just shout out to the Bixby Spartans for their season.
Yeah, no doubt. And again, Kate Wernley committing to Lindenwood last night. So a good little nugget there and a good piece of news as we record here on Thursday morning. Let's go to the boys' side of things, and we'll start with the defending champion falling as Owasso is upset by Deer Creek, losing by 2, 53-51, in a game that, a lot of people I think were surprised by. Deer Creek got blown out in the first area game by Norman, comes back, defeats Norman North for the first time this season after being swept in the district home and home, and end up knocking off Jalen Montanati and the reigning defending champion Owasso. And let me get to this before we do. That will set up, because Moore defeated Westmore, and we'll talk more about that in detail. That'll set up a matchup with Moore. So thoughts on Deer Creek upsetting Owasso, and then we'll talk about the matchup with Moore.
Well, first off, just that game, it shows how deep 6A is and that anything can happen in the state tournament. You just mentioned it. Deer Creek fell in a big way in regional against Norman, who lost to Union in the first round. But what stands out for Deer Creek is the play from Clyde Davis Jr. I mean, a quick guard, a shot creator, and he really gets that offense going. And when you can match that up with a big man with Phoenix Woodson, you can do some great things offensively, and Deer Creek continues to do that. Owasso was the favorite again to win the state championship, but Deer Creek had other plans. They spoiled the party, and that was quite the game and a heck of a job for them closing down the stretch. I mean, when you have a game that's that close all the way down to the final 2 minutes, protecting the basketball, hitting shots is very critical late in the game, and Deer Creek was able to do that.
Yeah, no doubt. And, Clyde Davis Jr., one of the things I've become more impressed by is his ability to create the level of shots that he creates, even at his, at his size. Now, he is 6 feet tall, but going up against an Owasso team that has size out the wazoo, and being able to drop 20 like he did is very, very impressive. So it'll be interesting to see. I think the big matchup between them and Moore, Moore's got some big guards. Tristan Hankins, Roman Miller, who we're going to talk about in a second. So Chance Rogers, too, bigger guy defending on the perimeter. They're very scrappy. So I think that sets up styles make fights, and I think that's going to set up a really, really intriguing matchup on the perimeter between the two backcourts. Now, Deer Creek's going to have a size advantage in the interior over Moore. So that should be a fun one come Friday night. But let's talk about Deer Creek's opponent in the semifinal, which is going to be Moore. And we had a Moore war that commenced at 9 p.m. on Tuesday night between Moore and Westmore. Westmore up by 13 points. Now, keep this in mind. Westmore nearly blew a double-digit lead to Edmond North to get to this game. That was this weekend out in Henrietta, a game both you and I were at. And they blow a lead again, and this time they don't recover from it as Moore sneaks out of there with the win, advancing to the semifinals.
We had Westmore playing just great basketball. They're able to get past the regional to move on to area, and then the upset to area to move on to state. They've been a fun team to watch. They're another team that can light it up from three with the Barnard brothers, who have had impressive high school careers. Yeah, they had everything going right for them offensively. They were playing good in the second half, but then that lead started to get smaller and smaller. And when you got a team that's that dangerous, and the Moore Lions that have so many options to go to offensively, and they can light it up so quickly, that lead can continue to get smaller, and Moore was able to capitalize on that, and they did not look back. So Moore continues to look so good with their guard play that they have in Tristan Hankins and Roman Miller.
Yeah, we'll get some keys to that game between Deer Creek and Moore here in just a second. Norman, like you mentioned, fell to Union. They blew a lead too, and that was the topic of our group chats that night. Is that leads just weren't safe, and I've got a theory about it. I think there's a simple change to high school basketball that can probably alleviate some of that, but that's a different topic for another day. But Norman, falls to Union after defeating Deer Creek in area to advance to state. Talk about the season that Norman had and what kind of just didn't click in that first state game.
Well, it was a lot of turnover, it felt like, from last year to this year for Norman when you lose a talented player like Trayshawn Combs-Pierce that he is long and athletic, and he gets it done on both ends of the floor. Sometimes that is hard to replace. But Bo Billingsley is a guy that stood out for them, the point guard that runs the offense for the Tigers. And he matched that up with Isaiah Amos down low, an old school blue-collar big underneath. And they did some fantastic things. They started off playing great against Union, and that lead just it fell for them, and it's a tough one to swallow for the Norman Tigers. But head coach Corey Cole, he got his team in a great spot for this year. They were knocking down threes, it felt like, for most of the season. B.J. Randall played a big part for them, just how athletic he is, scoring the ball and what he does defensively. So it was a nice team that the Tigers had, and, of course, they expected to go a little bit deeper in the state tournament. So that is a tough one for the Tigers to end on.
The last team from KREFsports.tv to advance to the semifinal is Broken Arrow on the boys' side of things, and they won a close one over Putnam City North. Now, here's the stat that I found earlier this week. Broken Arrow has won 26 games this year. Only 5 of them, that's less than 20%, have come by a game decided by single figures. They won by 3 yesterday. So, it's funny with teams like that. The thing you have to fight is complacency and straight up boredom when you're beating teams like that. But Broken Arrow showing they're a championship caliber team because they found a way to win a close game like they did over a very scrappy and feisty Putnam City North team. Yeah,
they're not used to that. They're not used to having a game that's coming down to the wire. They've been dominating for most of the season. We got to see them not too long ago, Grayson and area, and what stands out with them is they got everyone over 6 feet tall. Like, there's no one that's like very big for them underneath. It's just everyone's like 6'4", 6'5", and they got great length, and they got plenty of options to go to offensively. They're very quick on the defensive end. They're another team that can force some turnovers on the defensive end. So, yeah, a team that's just taking care of business right now. Them and the girls really have been just cruising all season long.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, what a basketball program that you have over there. Just, when you encompass both the girls and the boys, it's very, very impressive what they've done over there in the 918 at Broken Arrow. All right, so we've got the boys state semifinal set now. Deer Creek taking on Moore and Broken Arrow taking on Union. Let's make some predictions here. We're to the point of the season where we can make some predictions here. Broken Arrow and Union. BA is 2-0 against Union this season. Won by 13, 65-52 on December the 7th, and then won by 7, 68-61 on January the 16th.
I'm gonna go Deer Creek. I think.
Wait, let's do Broken Arrow and Union first.
You need Broken Arrow Union. Okay, Broken Arrow. Okay, I'm getting a little too ahead away. Okay, Broken Arrow Union. What do you got for Broken Arrow Union?
I'm gonna take BA here.
Okay.
I think that spoke to me that they got the close win over Putnam City North by 3. I think if you have a game where you come out flat in the quarterfinal and you let a team hang around but find a way to win, typically that doesn't duplicate itself. In the next game, you get punched in the mouth. You're like, all right, got you. We're gonna have to come out with our A game, even though we've blown out 21 of the 26 teams that we've played. So give me Broken Arrow in that semifinal game.
I think it was good for BA to have that close game in the first round. It shows that, hey, maybe we can wake up a little bit here for this Union game. So I expect BA to get a big win over Union. I think they can win by double figures. I like the way BA is playing right now, and I think that they're the most dangerous team that is left in the state tournament.
Deer Creek and more. We've talked about it a little bit. I think Deer Creek's going to have a size disadvantage in the backcourt, even though their guards can certainly play through it. Clyde Davis, Caden Leach, and the crew in the backcourt. They're going to have Deer Creek's going to have an advantage down low with Phoenix Woodson, but man, the fact that Moore's got those 2 scores with Tristan Hankins and Roman Miller, each who can drop 30 on any given night, really makes this an intriguing matchup. Who you already kind of spoiled it a little bit, but tell us why you're going with the Antlers.
I'm gonna go with the Antlers. I just like the way they're playing right now. They got so much confidence coming out of that win against Owasso. Expect to see a lot of points in this. I think both teams are gonna light it up from the floor, but I like Phoenix Woodson. I think it can be a wild card in this game. I know the guard play gets all the attention with the Antlers and the Lions with Tristan Hankins and Roman Miller. So I think Phoenix Woodson is going to play a big part in this game. Just the ability to score inside and also hit the mid-range shots from the free throw line. He can be a really matchup problem. So give me Deer Creek in a high-scoring game.
Very good. All right, let's go to the girls' side of things as well, and we're going to preview these state semifinal games. Norman taking on Mustang. Now, we all know Keeley Parks is a little bit banged up right now, but you've seen both of these teams. Where do you sit? I'm not going to ask you to make a prediction on this one because you've called Norman all year, but Norman and Mustang, what do you see about this matchup that stands out to you?
Well, I think they're both very similar to what they do. They can both score the ball, but they take a lot of pride on the defensive end. They both force a lot of turnovers. So I think this is a game that can be low scoring, maybe a little bit ugly. So it's going to come down to who's going to hit those crucial shots late. And the Tigers have been a team that's been able to, just coming off that win that they had when Parks was able to hit that 3. So I expect this to be a really low scoring, just a dogfight all the way to the end, Grayson.
1,000% agree. I would not be shocked if neither team, scored over 45 points.
Oh yeah.
I would not be shocked if it came down to that, given the makeup of these teams and how gritty they are defensively. I think this is going to be a rock fight. And it'll be a fun one to follow as that game goes on. Last one, this one might be a little bit more of a track meet. Broken Arrow and Putnam City North, 2 teams that really can put the ball in the bucket at a high level.
Yeah, I mean, man, I think this is going to be a great game. I think BA maybe has a little bit of an advantage over PC North, but I got to see PC North when they played Sapulpa in that first round game. And, man, the offensive firepower that PC North has with that new addition in Harad Herod that they have that's an Auburn commit, man, she is a long, athletic guard that can score inside. She's another player that can cause some problems, but I think BA just has too many weapons. And when you got a player like Mathurin, she can really take you the way to get you the win. So I'm going to go with BA.
Okay, very, very cool. I think I'll take BA as well. PC North was the only team that handed Norman losses.
That's true, yeah. The 2 losses in regular season all came, or for Norman, it all came against PC North.
Even after PC North lost to Norman in the Joe Lawson tournament.
Well, PC North, the girls, they were already loaded, coming into this year. And when you add a player like Herod, who does the things that she did, she came from Millwood. Yeah, Millwood to PC North. And when you add a player like that who's over 6 foot and is very long, and she's on the top of that zone defense and that full court pressure that PC North plays with. So that's a heck of an addition. But yeah, I think BA just has too much.
So remember, all of our games from UConn, by the way, are in the semifinals and the state championship are going to be audio only, but streamed here on KREFsports.tv. So if you can't get to UConn for those games, tap in KREFsports.tv. We'll have people there doing basically a radio call there. It was fantastic on Tuesday. It'll be fantastic again on Friday and Saturday. One last thing before we get out of here and we say goodbye for the week. Let's go to the Diamond because baseball season is now well underway in Oklahoma in high school. And we want to highlight Carson Brumbaugh, the Arkansas commit shortstop for Edmond Santa Fe, hits home runs in back-to-back games as Edmond Santa Fe and Deer Creek split their home and home to get the district slate started. And Connor, you've seen Carson Brumbaugh a couple of years now. Kid's really good, and he's showing it early in the year.
Yeah, a special player. I remember seeing him his freshman year. I'm like, man, this kid, if he continues to put on weight, he's going to be a heck of a player. And now he is stout. Man, he can hit the baseball. He's a tough guy to throw to, tough guy to get out. The Arkansas commit. We know what he can do with his glove, but man, his bat as well. He does it both, and he's going to be a heck of a player, and he's the corner piece for the Santa Fe team, who has always had some good baseball teams, but when you got a player like Carson Brumbaugh, your leader like that does so many things for you. He can hit at a high level, so he's going to be fun to watch. I know it's early in the year, so we're going to get to see him quite a bit more.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, that'll do it for this week's edition of the KREF High School Huddle as we preview the remaining part of the state tournament. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're going to post all those updates, show you when the games are going on, what our links are to our broadcasts as well. And of course, we're going to post those highlights when we can as well. That's Connor Pasby. I'm Grayson Singleton. So long. Have a good weekend, everybody.